What's going on, guys? It's Trevor here, coming at you with a video on a little stock called Bitmine Immersion Technologies. You might have heard about it. It's Tom Lee's company. Just I guess a little preface, I cover a lot of stocks and crypto on this channel, so if you're into that kind of thing, definitely smash that subscribe button, smash the like button if you haven't done that already yet also. But yeah, anyway, let's get right into it. So Bitmine Immersion Technologies, Bmnr is the ticker. So this is Tom Lee's company. To a certain extent, you might as well call it Cathie Wood's company too. I think she's got around $300 million in the stock. So, I mean, that's like giant compared to the actual market cap of the company. Like ARK Invest is actually like a significant shareholder in this company. And personally, I just really like the way Tom Lee and Cathie Woods both invest, where they have long-term mindsets and they go after gigantic ideas, right? They both love Tesla, they both love Bitcoin, they both love Nvidia, they both love like all these companies that are actually going after like the meat and potatoes of the future. It's kind of a weird way to put it, but yeah, the things that, you know, are like really large bets with really big ideas. That's how I like to invest my money. So if you like that kind of thing, definitely, like I said, subscribe. Yeah, so Tom Lee has this company called Bitmine Immersion Technologies. I've made a couple of videos on them before. If you want to go check those out, go ahead. But yeah, basically it's an Ethereum treasury company, where basically the sole purpose is acquire as much Ethereum as possible. Which, yeah, okay. So let me caveat that with, in a way that's accretive to shareholders, right? So Tom Lee is essentially taking the MicroStrategy Michael Saylor approach to accumulating Ethereum in a shareholder-friendly way, to basically capture all of the upside. And obviously, if there's downside, you're going to capture that as well, and probably in a leveraged way, right? So essentially, if the Ethereum goes up, you know, Bitmine's going to go up more than the amount that Ethereum went up. Maybe it goes up 1.5 times. Same thing with it. If it goes down, it's going to go down 1.5 times. So just understand that from a risk tolerance perspective, because that's important to know. You don't want to be buying when it's up at the highs and selling when it's decreasing, right? You want to the opposite. You want to be buying when there's blood in the streets and selling when everyone wants to buy, right? Which is easier said than done. But if you follow my channel and you understand the psychology of money and you understand how and when to invest money, I think you'll do well. I'm not a financial advisor, so don't take my word for that. Don't sue me, bro. But oh man, that person, I'm on FSD on my Tesla, but sometimes these people around Wichita, they just drive a little crazy, especially right after work. You know, it's 4 o'clock here and people are ready to get home. Anyway, yeah, so on this recent dip, after this whole China tariff deal that lasted like 2 days, what do you know? Not only did Michael Saylor scoop up a bunch of Bitcoin, but your boy, Tom Lee, scooped up a whole bunch of Ethereum. I want to say it was like around 200,000 Ethereum on the dip below 4K. Tom Lee is under the impression, and he's advocating that he thinks that we're going to see a $5,500 Ethereum price shortly. So, I mean, if that happens, there's going to be a lot of rich people. You know, it's like Vitalik Buterin, the guy that started Ethereum, he's already a billionaire, super young. And I can only imagine $5,500 Ethereum and what that's going to do to him, but let alone like Ethereum treasury company like Bitmine. You know, it's I want to say Bitmine already has around 10 to 11 to 12 billion dollars worth of Ethereum, right? So that's nothing to sneeze at. That's a lot of Ethereum. And then you've got people like Robert Kiyosaki, Mr. Rich Dad Poor Dad, who's really hardcore advocating for Ethereum and silver right now, where it's like Robert Kiyosaki thinks that gold and Bitcoin have kind of went up a lot, and to the point where silver and Ethereum kind of need to catch up, which could definitely be the case. I do kind of see Ethereum as like a leverage bet on Bitcoin as well. You know, they obviously fulfill two different purposes. You know, there's staking with Ethereum, that you can make a decent chunk of APR just with the staking, as well as Ethereum has like they burn Ethereum tokens, right? So Bitcoin has a fixed supply with this, you know, mysterious creator Satoshi Nakamoto, as opposed to Ethereum, which has a true like creator, Vitalik Buterin, and people still love it, right? The guy's not controversial. He's really lived a pretty apolitical life. I can only imagine if the guy tried to get into politics. I don't think he'd be that dumb. But anyway, yeah, it's a crazy idea, these cryptocurrencies, and it really puts us in a spot in our lives, especially if you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s, where it's like, if you take a little bit of risk for a little bit of reward, you know, in something like this, it could definitely like change your life, you know. And Bitmine, you know, it's still a fairly small market cap. You know, like I said, their Mnav is pretty close to 1 at this point, like all the treasury companies are, all the crypto treasury companies. Their Mnavs are low because the volatility of crypto, specifically Bitcoin, is low. You know, Bitcoin kind of drives the crypto market. So like if the volatility of Bitcoin goes up a lot, and you know, where Bitcoin goes up to 150, 175K, we are going to see a $6,000, $7,000 Ethereum. Like that will just happen, right? And so that, you know, you can either to take advantage of that trade, you can either, you know, invest in the asset itself, which is Ethereum, or you can invest in the stock that is basically trying to proliferate and accrete Ethereum. So you can buy Ethereum now, right? Or you can purchase shares of the crypto treasury companies when their Mnavs are really low, because they're going to continue to accrete, right? So basically, if the Mnav's low, that means you're basically paying just the price of Ethereum for the Ethereum, but you are actually buying you're buying the Ethereum itself, and you're buying the management team behind Bitmine or whatever crypto treasury company you're buying. You're buying that management team and their ability to buy more Ethereum with other people's money, including yours. It seems a little bit cultish. Like, if we're being real, a little bit cultish and a little bit Ponzi-ish. But what it boils down to is like, that's the financial system. It doesn't matter what financial system you want to, you know, join the cult of, whether that's the US dollar, whether that's Bitcoin, whether it's the yen, whether it's the peso. I don't care. It's all a cult. For lack of better terms, it's all a cult and a Ponzi scheme. So it's like, which one do you conform to, or which one do you pick as being your personal asset that you hold? You know, do you hold one that burns tokens? Do you hold one that has a fixed supply? Do you hold one that the government can print anytime and any time that they want to? Any black swan event, okay, triple the money supply. You know, so it's really whatever you think you find value in. And speaking of finding value in things, if you find value in this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. No, but for real, I mean, Cathie Woods has a gigantic investment in Bitmine, right? And I just, it's really hard to argue with the things that come from ARK Invest, in my opinion. It's like so hard, you know, because they also do the same approach that I like, which, like I said earlier, it's take calculated bets on different things that have huge impact on the world. Like, I've been thinking about getting a little bit of exposure to CRISPR technologies, because I have no real like exposure to gene editing slash AI in that space, where it's like, what would 1% of my net worth going into CRISPR do? I mean, it wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't be risking much, and the upside could be absolutely freaking huge. So I need to do more research on CRISPR, but that is a good option that I think I might throw like 1%. Literally just 1%, maybe 2%, but probably just 1% into CRISPR just in case, you know? But like Bitmine and Ethereum, I feel like are definitely, like, they deserve probably a little bit more than 1%, but not like 100%, That's not even 50%. You know, it really depends on what your risk tolerance is, how convicted you are. Me personally, I do believe that Ethereum is going to get to like Bitcoin levels. I feel like it's going to probably trail Bitcoin for a long time. It could possibly surpass it on a coin per coin like cost basis. In other words, like you know, like I could see Ethereum getting to 125K. When that would be, I don't know. I don't know if that's in 5 years. I don't know if that's in 10 years. But I definitely think that Ethereum's gonna get there, right? And so it's kind of the same deal with Bitcoin, where it's like these Bitcoin treasury companies, all these crypto treasury companies are ahead of their time. Like, let's just get that straight. They are very ahead of their time, and they are all willing to endure the ridicule from other companies, from other people, from governments, from everybody. People just ridiculing them, saying, "Oh, these people are dumb, and they just want to create their whole business centered around crypto and use other people's money, and it's a Ponzi and blah 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 blah." When in all reality, these people just don't get it. They literally just don't get it. Like, imagine if you would have started your own Ethereum treasury company, your own Bitcoin treasury company. You could have done that, you know, as an individual back in 2012, right? And look at how much money you would be worth. You would be living in Dubai with all the crypto millionaires, you know, or billionaires, right? I mean, the crypto industry has created literally billionaires. That's how like advanced and how innovative and how new crypto still is. So if you're actually looking for an investment to put your money into, and you are not 70, let's say you are 20, 30, 40, dare I even say 50, right? Like, all I would say is, like, consider an allocation to like either some crypto or some crypto treasury companies. I personally like the crypto treasury companies when their Bmnr so deflated like this. Like, I see very little risk, and I see a lot of gain, and I see a lot of like FOMO when crypto does start going to the moon again, when it starts, you know, when Bitcoin gets to 150, when Ethereum gets to 5, 6, 7,000, when Bitcoin gets to 150, 200K. Like, these treasury companies, let's get it straight. Let's not get it twisted. They're going to the freaking moon, right? And these are things that you can actually hold like even more leverage on if you hold like options. I'm not advocating for options. I'm not advocating for you as a personal investor to do a damn thing. All I'm saying is this is what I like to do. I like to calculated bets, and I think that Bitmine is could be a very, very lucrative option for you to put at least a little bit of your portfolio in, and I'm not a financial advisor. But check it out. If you've made it to the end of this video, you've listened to my whole spiel, well, I think you should subscribe to the channel, right? Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I talk about crypto and stocks, and I give you like breaking news when it comes to financial everything. So just hear me out, subscribe to the channel, and maybe you can learn something, and I can learn something along the way as well. Appreciate you guys watching. Have a great day.